and gentlemen, 49 coming at you another community shoutcast for the OUSA Dota League Season 1. Just loading into game number 2 of 2IP up against Horsemen of the Ruckus. Game number 1 was played a few days ago, but 2IP had real life commitments, so they were unable to play game number 2, so they're playing it right now. They have 2 stand-ins as the offlane player 2Easy has actually dropped out of the ODL 1. He can't play Dota 2 anymore for personal reasons, so he can't make the games. So he's been replaced by a player who I believe is from Psychos. The Cheese stands in alone. And they also have a Flash and they also have another stand-in Flash coming in from Team Blink. Actually, bear with me just 1 second. One of my friends actually asked me to shoot him a message when I started streaming, so just going to shoot that over. And so 2IP actually have first pick this time, so they did lose game number 1 up against Horsemen of the Ruckus. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. Actually, that reminds me. Just going to quickly log into Steam while I'm at it. So it should be interesting to see how 2IP draft this, since both 2IP and Horsemen of the Ruckus have very flexible drafts. They've got a wide variety of heroes they can play, and they do like to switch up their roles and their hero positions a lot. So 2IP like to run things like Axe as a carry, alongside Clockwork and a tri-lane. So it should be interesting to see what sort of draft they pull up. So first ban, Ember Spirit, very good ban, especially considering Kinkiller is a very skilled Ember Spirit player. Highly aggressive mid-hero, because he has a huge amount of mobility coming out from the Remnant. Ember Spirit is also very flexible with builds. He's got 2 traditional ones. He's got the RTZ build, where you max out Slate of Fist after you get 3 points off the Searing Chain. So that gives you the best amount of lockdown. Mirana ban actually coming up from Horsemen of the Ruckus. Very interesting considering Mirana is actually one of their best heroes. I guess since 2IP have first pick, they don't want to face the Mirana. So UGTFO, who's one of the best Miranas that I've seen so far in the ODR 1, won't be able to play his signature hero. Although I guess like Yoshi and Felfie's friend, he must be sick of playing one hero over and over and over again.
10 seconds
Voca ban coming out from 2IP. They don't want to deal with the Quastworks or the Quast Exort, and with their follow-up with the Clockwork ban. Very strong ban, doubly so as Wolfkant plays an absolutely phenomenal Clockwork. 2IP actually like to occasionally run a Clockwork tri-lane in conjunction with the Rubik, who Muel will be playing, or Yoda. They like to switch up their hero roles and positions, and so the reason why that works is you have the telekinetic lift, you throw them to 2 cogs, so it's 160 mana and 160 damage they take to their HP, and then you trap them out of position. You're just able to beat them down. Clockwork's actually a surprisingly effective tri-lane hero, just because you could use them to zone out the other tri-lane if you clash try v try. They're going with the Lycanthrope as their first pickup, Wolfkant's signature hero. You'd think so, since considering his name has Wolf in it, but in doing so, they give away the Slark, so Dumbledy and Kinkiller, they both play great Slarks. So Kinkiller goes for the mid ganking kind of Slark, whereas Dumbledy, he plays the hard carry Slark. Was able to use it to great effect in their series up against Bambi Rising, even though he was playing Slark in a 1-position role, up against the Tricore of Bambi Rising, up against the Doombringer, as well as the Lifestealer. Lich picked up one of Gatz's best heroes, requires a huge amount of teamfight and ganking presence, just because you have to sacrifice to control your lane. Frostblast is a huge amount of damage. Horsemen of the Ruckus, they actually like to play Lich a bit unconventionally. They like to roam up and go for early ganks at level 1. So first point up in Frostblast actually hurts a hell of a lot on Lich, just because it does provide a nice snare, and Lich has 315 movement speed. So if your animation cancel your hero properly, you can actually get 2-3 extra hits in. Can be the difference between a kill and the enemy hero escaping at low HP.
10 seconds remaining.
So 2IP following up their second pick. They've gone for the Lycanthrope first pickup.
5
So very standard draft coming out from them. Yoda's younger brother, Wolfkant, does play a pretty good Lycan. They go for the Dazzle. So very standard draft. I think Yoda will be playing that Dazzle. Works very well with Lycanthrope as Lycan. Wolfkant's one of the few Lycan players that I know that actually likes to go for the Medallion of Courage. That's one of his first pick items. Just because the negative armor coming out from Medallion, coupled with the right-clicking power from the Lycanthrope, enables him to chew through enemy heroes. Dazzle also has the Poison Touch to lock him in place, as well as the Weave, making him hit that much harder. So Visage as well as an Axe ban. Axe must be a respect ban, because 2IP actually ran an Axe Lich dual lane in the past up against See and Believe. They were able to use the great effect, so I guess the fearing the potential Axe pickup coming up from Horsemen of the Ruckus. I know my flatmate Jamie has been practicing a lot of Axe in the last few days. Visage as well as the Ancient Apparition banned out. So both Kings of the Tri-Lane banned out. Visage and Ancient Apparition also work fantastically with the Dazzle, as the Chilling Touch in conjunction with the Poison Touch coming out from Dazzle, as well as the Cold Feet, leads to a lot of right-clicking power. And the Poison Touch, if you have enough points in it, actually can set up the Cold Feet. So you have that extra disable coming up from him. Sandking picked up, so my flatmate Jamin's favorite here. So Lich, Sandking, a support duo coming up from them, as well as what looks like the mid Slark. He also can function as the offlaner and in the tri-lane, so he's a very flexible first pick. One of the reasons why he works excellently as a first pick hero, just because there are a few heroes that can counter the Slark. It's a bit surprising that they chose to ban out the Axe, considering Axe is actually a pretty decent counter to the Slark. Since when he pops his Shadow Dance, you could actually use your Berserker's Call to hold him in place for 3 seconds, so he's hitting Axe, who's very happy to take those hits since he has 40 armor during Berserker's Call. And so that wastes a lot of Slark's Shadow Dance in time, as well as the fact that the counter Helix will hurt Slark even if he is in Shadow Dance form. It's a way to keep his HP pool low. So Naga Siren ban coming out from 2IP, very standard ban considering the fact that Naga Siren is a hard counter to Lycanthrope. When he pops his Shapeshift, you could lock him in place for up to 5 seconds with Ensnare. If he goes for a BKB, you can still lock him in place with the Ensnare and even pop your Song, so you freeze the rest of his teammates so Dazzle can't save him with the Shallow Grave. And then you net him and just start beating him down. Lycan against Slark is a bit of a tricky situation just because Slark can hold Lycan in place with the Pounce. Lycanthrope really relies on his high mobility. But at the same time, if Lycanthrope is able to get a very early start off with that Necro 3, before the 20-minute mark, he actually has a huge amount of team fighting presence, just because his minions do so much damage since they inherit the Feral Impulse. Necrobook minions have 1 base attack time, so any increase in attack speed is significant for them. Having a 30% increase in attack speed from Feral Impulse makes them hit extremely quickly. They'll actually attack faster than Anti-Mage since they have 1 base attack time 1.0, whereas Anti-Mage has 1.6. Centaur Warrunner picked up as the offlane hero for the 2IP. Very strong offlane here, especially against a hero like such as a Slark, since he's very squishy, so if Centaur Warrunner gets a very fast blink, is able to catch Slark out with a hoof stomp, can easily burst him down with a double edge, especially in conjunction with a few more right clicks off the rest of his team. Also provides that Stampede, which acts as a free haste ray as well as unit walking. If you run through an enemy hero while you have Stampede, you actually provide an 80% snare, so it provides a huge amount of initiation power. Not too sure how effective he'll be, again, especially if he goes against 1v1 against Slark. Since Slark with his Essence Shift actually trades very favorably against the Centaur Warrunner, can use Pounce to dodge his Hoof Stomp or the Dark Pact to immediately purge it off. Death Prophet picked up from the Horsemen and Ruckus, so King Killer, one of his best heroes. He loves the hyper aggression coming out from Death Prophet, and so far the ODL 1, Death Prophet seems to be a pretty hit and miss hero. They either do really well or they go for really strange greedy builds and they don't quite seem to pick up enough steam to get the ball rolling. But King Killer, very confident in his abilities in the Death Prophet. He's been using it a lot in the past. He likes to go for the conventional Death Prophet build, which is phase into a Yule Scepter. He might pick up a cheeky point booster depending on how well his farm is, and then transition from that to a Bloodstone if he thinks he's doing well, or otherwise he might go for more support and utilities oriented items. And so 4th pick coming out from 2IP, they have their offlane and their tri-lane sorted out. They're deciding what mid-hero they want to send up against that Death Prophet, since she does win a lot of 1v1 matchups if you don't send in any rotational support, especially in a vacuum situation, just because with Crypt Swarm you can use it to harass the enemy hero, as well as to get CS and control the creep wave, so you're able to secure the runes since you move faster through Witchcraft. And so Death Prophet should be able to get a very early phase boots, and she also hits fairly hard and has a 600 range. She's got a pretty terrible animation though, since she has a lot of backswing. But if you're able to compensate for that, you actually can very easily control the lane. Death Prophet wins mid the same way Viper does, by playing very aggressively from level 1, keeping the enemy mid at such low HP that they can't engage on the Death Prophet without risking death. And so they're sending Puck, actually a very good mid counter to the Death Prophet, just because you can disjoint the Crypt Swarm with the phase shift. So Muel will be playing Puck. Did play Puck in the game number 2 series up against Recursion in that grudge match. Was able to use it to great effect. Waning Rift and Dream Coil provide you so much utility for the rest of your team, as Dream Coil holds them in place. Incredibly important considering the fact you have a Centaur Warrunner and a Lycanthrope who want to get up close and personal. Illusory Orbit hurts like hell and you have the Ethereal John to reposition yourself. So Puck, I think, actually wins 1v1 against Death Prophet. Reserve time. Just because Death Prophet's lane control comes from the Crypt Swarm, and Puck can if Muel has fast enough reflex, he can actually disjoint the majority of the damage coming from the Crypt Swarm. And so that means that Puck actually has better right-clicking power as well, and his animation's faster, so in an even skill matchup, Puck actually should be able to beat Death Prophet quite handily. Rubik Respect Band coming out from Horsemen and Ruckus, as Yoda and Muel both play a very good Rubik. They do have Flash standing in for them, as well as the Cheese stands in, so 2IP have 2 stand-ins currently playing for them. I think the Cheese stands in might actually be their 5th player if they do advance to the next stages. Otherwise, he'll just be their stand-in for today. And Flash, carry player from Blink, the last time he played, wasn't able to do all too well. I guess he'll be playing that Centaur Warrunner once again. Yoshi was co-casting with me. He said that if Flash dishonored the Blink name by not winning or carrying his team, they'll have to do like a roster change. Hasn't been a roster change so far, so it could be an empty threat. But you never know. Flash has one more chance to redeem his honor, or rather Blink's honor. So he should be up in the Centaur Warrunner. Yoda will be playing that Dazzle. Wolfguard will be up on Lycan, Muel will be over on Puck, and the Cheese stands in. Probably will be their secondary support hero. They're going for their 5th ban, so they know that they have got their tri-lane or off-lane sorted out. So they want to ban on off-laners just because Horsemen and Ruckus like to run Slark to tri-lane. I don't think they've run Slark in an off-lane so far, so they ban out the Batrider, very good ban. Just because he offers you that isolation power, especially in conjunction with the Slarks. You could drag him back, Slark pounces him, instantly bursts him down with a high amount of damage coming out from the pounce, as well as the Dark Path. And Sandking always is standing at the wings with the epicenter, as well as the Burrow Strike. Horsemen and Ruckus have a huge amount of AoE teamfight presence. They've gone for Timbersaw, so UGTFO up on Timbersaw. 1v1 up against Centaur Warrunner. Timbersaw does very well, just because Whirling Death harasses back Centaur Warrunner quite handily. It also reduces his base stat, which for Centaur Warrunner's case is strength, so it reduces his base HP pool. And if Eclipse a Tree does pure damage, could be seeing a max Whirling Death build coming up from Timbersaw, as that's the it gives you the most reliable form of burst damage, whereas maxing Timber Chain gives you superior overall DPS as it reduces the cooldown, and Timber Chain does 220 pure damage every time you use it, but it is a lot more dependent on how good you are at landing those chains. Also does consume a lot more mana, so the Whirling Death build tends to be a lot more mana efficient. They've gone for Crystal Maiden as their 5th and final hero. It'll be interesting to see how effective she is, especially against the Slark tri-lane with the Lich and the Sandking. Just because Slark doesn't give a damn about Crystal Maiden, he can purge off her Frostbite as well as the snare coming out from a Crystal Nova with his Dark Pact. If he pounces her and catches her out of position, she will instantly die. Lich has faster move speed, so he can always run up to her and Frost Blast her. If she's caught out of position, Sandking for the Burrow Strike can instantly kill her. So if they decide to clash Tri-v-Tri, Horsemen and Ruckus have a decisive advantage in that case, whereas if they decide to go up against the Timbersaw, Timbersaw has to be very careful, just because he doesn't function very well 1v3 if he's playing against competent or aggressive tri-lane support heroes. And since Yoda and Cheese stand alone, well, Yoda at any rate, I've seen him play a fair few times, he's a very aggressive support player. So if he doesn't go for any kill attempts on the Timbersaw, he'll be going for rotations. So UGTFO, offlane player for Horsemen and Ruckus, very consistent player. He's the solid foundation in which the Horsemen and Ruckus can make all their crazy plays off, just because they know that he's always able to follow through some very consistent plays. Over in the Timbersaw, he's being given a safety ward, so he'll be dropping either one of his pool tangos or the GG branch. Dumbledore, the carry player, one of the best 1v1 players in New Zealand. I think he came 2nd in the national 1v1 tournament over on the Slark. So he'll be that tri-lane farmer. He's been doing that role a lot recently. Rafiki, my flatmate Jamie, over on Sandking, his favorite hero. He'll be that tri-lane support. Gats over on Lich. Looks like they're actually grouping up for a level 1 gank because he's got a smoke. Lich is going to be building towards a very early Tranquil boost, gives him more movement speed and sustainability. He's saving his skill point, so he could be going for that Frost Blast for that level 1 gank. And the Captain King Killer and mid player over on the Death Prophet. Incredibly aggressive mid player. Very talented individual player and very comfortable over the Death Prophet. So Flash is standing. Going to be going 1v3, so he's standing with Boots, going for the Admiral Bulldog build. A point up and return. Interesting that he chose to skill that instantly, so he knows that he'll be going 1v3. And so he wants to drive back the support heroes by using return to return damage back to them. Yoda, the captain and support player over in the Crystal Maiden. She stands in alone. A player who I believe is from Psychos is being drafted, picked up by 2IP as Psychos has disbanded. Playing the Dazzle. It's gone for the Shallow Grave at level 1. Wolfguard, their carry player, over in the Lycanthrope, choosing to go for summon Wolves at level 1. Very surprising considering that Flash or another carry and Lycanthrope player actually goes for Feral Impulse at 1, and a lot of other Lycanthrope players actually like to go for Howl at 1, just because summon Wolves doesn't actually offer you too much. King Killer handily winning the creep pull over in the mid lane, so the creep, he has the high ground vision over the Puck, actually misses that CS there, so slight misplay coming up from him. And you see Puck playing very scared. Muel, they know what Horsemen and Ruckus are like. They like to play hyper-aggressive from level 1. Double damage rune up on Gats. So if they catch Puck in a position, they could easily go for a kill. However, you have to keep in mind, Puck has the Illusory Orb. And you've got instant pings coming out from both teams, so they know that something's not quite right. They know the support players are missing. I would like to see the support players go back. Yeah, the smoke's worn off, so they're going to head back. Puck is a hero that you can't really gank at level 1 unless the Puck player misplays. Just because with the Illusory Orb and the Ethereal Jaunt, he can reposition himself, so Dumbledore actually getting out-CS'd by Flash. Carry player up against carry player, although in this case Flash is playing the offlaner. He's actually going to be called out, eats a Frost Blast, quickly followed up with the Burrow Strike, the copy a lot of damage, drops out Hoof Stomp, so he's able to pick up level 2. Called up with a Pounce, and it looks like a First Blood Flash. Feeding First Blood. Snow and Yoshi are rolling over right now saying, Flash, why do you dishonor the Blink name once again? This was his chance at redemption, but great rotation coming out. UGTFO in the bottom lane chose to go Timber Chain at level 1. Very surprising he chose to do so, considering the fact that Poison Touch, as well as the Frostbite, although Poison Touch needs 2 or 3 points in it before it can interrupt Timber Chain, the Frostbite actually can hold him in place, so Timber Chain at 1 is a very strange build. Timbersaw players usually go for either the Reactive Armor or the Willing Death at 1. Whirling Death if you're going 1v1, so you can use it to trade very favorably. Actually, while that's happening, King Killer taking a lot of damage. Muel, both of them very low, and he actually gets a kill. Puck actually phase shifted the attack from King Killer, and he follows up the Crypt Swarm. Excellent play coming from him. Recognizing that phase shift was a cooldown, they use it to destroy the attack, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. Following up with a very quick Crypt Swarm to get that kill. He'll have his bottle up very shortly. Haste Rune over in the top lane, probably going to be swatted out by Rafiki, who's rotating over in the Sandking. Could look to go for another gank over on Centaur Warrunner, as Centaur Warrunner is unaware of the fact that there is a Haste Rune. Flash playing very safe, he's hiding in a line of sight now, just to make sure that the enemy supports can't go on him, since he doesn't want to eat that Frost Blast coming out from Gats. Doesn't have his Tranquil Boots, so no sustainability up on him. No Stout Shield or Ring of Protection as well, so he is actually copying a fair amount of harassment. He's entirely reliant on his movement speed to provide him that survivability, so he can rotate himself away. They've got that safety ward placed there by Flash. Hasn't been dewarded yet. Very surprising, neither of the support players over on the Dire side have any sentry wards. Would like to see them place that sentry, since they know that Flash over in the offlane will most likely be having that safety ward. UGTFO might actually be called out of position. They're waiting for him to throw out that Timber Chain. Then when he throws out the Timber Chain, so now he can Timber Chain to safety. Bit of mistiming or miscommunication coming out from there. If Dazzle had Shadow Waved earlier when the Wolves were heading in, they could have killed UGTFO, since he got 0 armor. He's got 4 armor now with the reactive armor, and he narrowly avoids death. Great recognition coming out from UGTFO, waiting until the Frostbite happened before he throws out the Timber Chain, as Yoda was hoping UGTFO would panic and throw out that Timber Chain, in which case he could freeze him in place and he would have fed kill over in the bottom lane. Playing very safe, he's going to sap as much EXP as he can. With that reactive armor, it's difficult to poke and prod Timbersaw, just because he's going to regenerate from it. Actually caught out the Frostbite, he might be taking a fall. Never mind, able to Timber Chain himself to safety, and just barely keeps himself alive. He's got a point up in the Whirling Death now, so the instant the supports rotate over to go to the mid lane, which they should be doing to place some pressure on King Killer, since he's handily winning the lane against the Puck with that early kill advantage on him. Then Timbersaw can go for some Q harass over on the Lycanthrope, can also use it to get his CS. Support players over from Horsemen and Ruckus actually doing some pulling and stacking, but Flash he's doing the right call right now. He's actually hanging over closer towards so he's getting the experience from the wave, so that means that the pulls actually are beneficial for the offlane hero. So he's going to get half the EXP from the neutral creeps anyway. It does, however, mean the support players do get a lot more gold, and this is the thing to keep in mind with Sandking, as with that Sandstorm, he's doing that right now. He's going to blast some Darude, sit there in the creep camp, and use that to farm up the creeps. Quick pulls coming out from Lycan. I do think they have some internet issues over in their end, so he's going to use the Sandstorm to farm up stacked up neutral creeps. Use that to get as much gold as he can. He's got enough money to farm up his boots, but I think Jamie, what he likes to do is he actually likes to get as much gold as possible and try to save up for a naked Blink Dagger, since especially with the recent change to Blink Dagger, so it no longer costs mana, you actually can rush it from level without building your arcane boots, since you no longer have the 75 mana cost. Server has been set to Australia, just to let him know. And so having that, you can go for that naked Blink before you go for the arcane boots, since before you had to go arcane boots before you went for Blink Dagger, just because it'd give you Jamie just trolling me. And so since no longer costs 75 mana, if you went for a naked Blink into boots, if you went for the naked Blink Dagger, the fact that your Burrow Strike as well as your Epicenter use up all of your mana pool, you wouldn't actually have enough mana to get your combo off. So if you blinked, you would be able to throw out your Burrow Strike, but you wouldn't be able to throw out your Epicenter, or vice versa. So the fact that it no longer costs mana means you could do both. Some internet issues over on their end. We have fiber optic over on ours, so we've got some pretty good ping. King Killer also seems to be the same. Same over with UGTFO, so it could just be internet issues over for 2IP. Bit of a pity, since ping is such a huge issue, especially when you're considering the fact that they have 200 to 300 ping compared for 80 to 90 over on the Horsemen of Ruckus. Looks like they're going to be carrying on regardless. Dazzle going for a point over in the Shadow Wave and then a point up in the Shallow Grave. Would like to see him max out that poison touch, with a smack toll coming out from Jamie. Horsemen of Ruckus are renowned for their bad manners and trolling. They're a pretty rowdy bunch of players, so they do like to have some fun. King Killer with a haste rune as well as exorcism, rotating over to the bottom lane. He could actually get a kill turn. He catches out Yoda on his own, sees him out. Never mind, Yoda just barely rotates away. He has exorcism, so keep in mind, they don't want to fight this. Doesn't want to use it though. He's going to get a free kill over on Wolfcant. He's taking so much damage. The Shallow Wave has to be popped. Actually, UGTFO Feed's going to wait until the Shallow Grave wears off and then go for the Crypt Swarm. Actually, miscommunication coming out from King Killer. UGTFO feeds a kill. He's going to be able to get a retaliation kill over on the Dazzle with that blind Crypt Swarm. There we go, he catches them out. But he really wanted to be able to kill off Wolfguard. So that's the power of the Dazzle coming out. 5 seconds where you can't die with that Shallow Grave unless you get Axe Dunked. But that's a whole other story. Axe Dunk gets rid of every buff you have. It even goes through Borrowed Time. So Nazgul can't even Nazgul. Sad day to be an Abaddon or a Dazzle. So yeah, very good rotation coming up from Kingkiller, but that miscommunication cost him 2 kills. They should have been able to kill the Dazzle as well as Wolfguard over there. UGTFO overcommitted, went in for that Timber Chain, should have hung back actually. Waited until that overcommitted, since Kingkiller could easily kill all 3 of them on his own. He had enough mana to throw out 3 Crypt Swarms, and with that Haste Rune, you're not running away from Death Prophet. And while that's happening, Muel's actually able to get some CS in the mid lane. He's actually got more CS now than Kingkiller, since Kingkiller rotated over, but he's got more kills. So in terms of overall golden EXP, Kingkiller's about to hit level 7. Significant lead, since if Muel isn't able to destroy that Crypt Swarm, he loses 300 HP. You see him using that phase shift right now. Crypt Swarm does have a fast travel time, but so long as you see it, or even if you hear the animation, you can just press your E, use it to disjoint it. Phase shifters no longer cost any mana. It's one of the huge buffs for Puck. You see Kingkiller actually poking and prodding with right clicks, so saying if you're going to phase shift and attack, then I can follow up the Crypt Swarm, and vice versa. He used that earlier to skill First Blood. Those are Crypt Swarm getting that range creep. Muel throws out the Illusory Orb as a form of retaliation, but Illusory Orb travels very slowly. I think it's 800 projectile speed compared to 900 over the Crypt Swarm, so Death Prophet easily able to dodge it, but double damage respawns in the top lane. Kingkiller wants to go for it, but Puck should be able to snag it before he does. Puck has Dream Coil up, so you can go on Kingkiller, but keep in mind, Kingkiller has Exorcism. He doesn't actually have enough mana for it, but the threat of the Exorcism is enough to draw him off. And Jamie in the background, able to get his farm. He's blasting Darude. He's having a ball of a time, getting as much gold as he can. Level 4 up on the Sandking compared to level 2 over on the Dazzle. Level 3, sorry, and level 4 over on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden choosing to max out Arcane Aura, just because she knows that her teammate's going to be using more abilities than she is. Would have liked to see her max out the Crystal Nova. Yoda usually does max out Crystal Nova, but in this case, choosing to max out the Arcane Aura. So it could be indicative of the state of the game, since Crystal Maiden, her build isn't set in stone. UGTFO with 2 points up a reactive arm can completely mitigate any harassment he's going to take over from Wolfguard. Looks like he's going for the max Whirling Death build, so that's the most mana efficient form of DPS, since a maxed out Whirling Death has a potential to do 250 pure damage if you clip a tree, follow up with a Chakram, and that's a lot of damage they take. Kingkiller actually walks through the Illusory Orb, so giving him a freebie in terms of harassment. Hanging around. He hasn't had as great a time as you would like, just because Puck can phase shift a lot of his Crypt Swarms. He's been doing so to avoid a lot of the harassment, but he still has been able to rotate around the map and create kills. But while that's happening, Flash has been completely contained in the top lane. Only 4 CS on him compared to 34 up on Dumblebee. He is farming up a Storm, almost as level 6. He's got that early Orb of Venom, so if Centaur Warrunner ever goes up on his own, he'll be able to pounce him and go for a kill. Flash is having a very sad game. This is the least amount of CS I've ever seen on him, and while that actually happens, Puck gets a kill over on Death Prophet with a double damage route, and with that Dream Coil, fantastic plays coming up from Muel. Sorry I missed that one, but it looks like he's able to seal the deal. He's about 1,000 gold away from his Blink Dagger, so at the rate Muel's going, about 3-4 minutes he could get that Blink Dagger. If he's able to get that Blink Dagger up in those few minutes, he could go for some few critical ganks, especially on UGTFO. He's hit level 6 now, so he's able to throw out that Chakram. Almost has his Arcane Boots up, he's able to Timber Chain himself to safety. Gats, as well as Rafiki, TPM for support. Cheese stands alone, eats a Frost Blast to the face. He could actually be taking a full lead. UGTFO's going to trap him in and pincer him off. He pops Shallow Grave and goes in for the TP. They actually might keep him alive. Never mind, Burrow Strike from the Sandking. Drops him and he takes a 4. Yoda as well as Wolfguard back away. They don't want any part of that. Kingkiller rotates to the bottom lane. Arcane Boots picked up on him, so they could actually push down a tier 1 the bottom lane. With the Exorcism up on Kingkiller, he's got 2 points up to Witchcraft now. A lot of spirits coming at you. So 4 spirits from that, coupled with the extra 4 he got. So 8 spirits up on Kingkiller. He can use that to easily DPS down the bottom lane tower, and that deprives Lycanthrope of a lot of farm, a lot of space to farm as well. He's going for Vladimir's Offering as his first big item. You see Kingkiller pops his spirits. You see how he's moving closer and closer towards the tower. The closer you are to the tower, the less travel time the spirits have. So you see that bot lane tower actually melting, just because Kingkiller's making sure that he's staying as close to the tower as possible. So the spirits have less time to travel back and forth between him. One of the things you have to keep in mind as a Death Prophet player is the mechanics with Exorcism. As the more efficient you are with utilizing your level 1 Exorcism, the more space you can create for the rest of your team. A lot of Death Prophet players like to hang back at max range when they pop the Exorcism, and so the spirits have a long travel time between the tower and between the Death Prophet. Muel pops his haste rune, so he's able to flee. Yoda might be the sacrificial lamb, never mind. With the boots up, he should be able to run away. 9-minute Vladimir's Offering picked up on Lycanthrope, so he could be looking for a Roshan engagement. While that's happening, Slark, he's farming, he's holding onto his gold. Looks like he'll be going for a Shadow Blaze as first big item. Flash copying a lot of harassment, but with that return, is able to give back as good as he gets. Dumbledore, though, with a point up in the Essence Shift, he's very happy to trade hits with him, since with that Shadow Dance, he's going to be able to out-regenerate Flash. Flash looks like instead of going for a Tranquil Boots, he's actually saving up for the Blink Dagger, so he recognizes that he's been heavily driven out of lane. He doesn't have much farm. He does have a Stampede up though, so he could start rotating around the map, creating space when he can, but for now, he's content to sit over the top lane. Dumbledore just casually pops the Dark Pact. I think he wanted to get some harassment, or maybe he thought Flash would go in for the Hoof Stomp. Nonetheless, he just wastes level 1 Dark Pact, but he's more than happy with that. Doesn't really cost him anything. Lycan instantly starts building towards Medallion of Courage, as it gives him a lot more solo ganking power, especially if he wants to go for Roshan. The recent shift to Roshan, and with him having more armor, the Medallion of Courage is a critical pickup on him. He's able to take a free tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and Muel picks up a Blink Dagger. This is a huge window of opportunity that the Radiant side have over the Dire team. You can actually go into Blink Initiation with the Waning Rift. So the players over on the Horsemen and the Ruckus have to be very careful. Sandking looks like he's decided to forego the Blink build. He's going towards what looks like an Urn of Shadows. Stampede popped him in Dumbledore, but Dumbledore is able to pounce to safety. So Flash wasting his level 1 ultimate. It's a 90-second window that the Horsemen and the Ruckus have to take advantage of that. Great play coming up from Dumbledore. While that happens, Lycanthrope actually instantly kills Gats. That's the power of the Medallion of Courage. But he goes down to the Chain Frost, which bounce back and forth. So Gats very happy to trade his life for that. Horseman, King Kill actually caught up position. He's going to take a fall. Muel's been playing fantastically and keeping him locked down with the Dream Coil. Puck really has been beating Death Prophet in the mid lane, just because it's so difficult to harass him in the lane. And Death Prophet really relies on the Crypt Storm harassment, so excellent counter pick coming out from him. At level 10, I think he's actually out-leveling King Killer. Yeah, King Killer's level 8, so that's a level 10, almost level 11 Puck. That could actually change the shape of the mid-games, as Puck is one of those momentum-controlling heroes, as he creates space for the rest of your team, similar to a Beastmaster with his ultimate. He can set up ganks and win fights for you almost single-handedly, since if you get that Blink Waning Rift to the Dream Coil initiation, you got 3 or 4 heroes that are silenced as well as locked in place. Follow up with the Illusory Orb and a few more teammates with the Crystal Maiden, Crystal Nova, as well as Lycanthrope being able to run in and just right-click people down. It's a huge amount of damage coming up from them. But while that's happening, Dumbledore, he's almost got his Shadow Blade. Actually turns around, pops his Shadow Dance to keep himself alive from that double edge. Missed time. Blink Dagger out from Muel. Actually kills him to the Slark. Slark continued to run forward, playing very aggressively. Didn't recognize the Blink Dagger over on Puck. Weave over on King Killing. He's actually going to be taking a fall. He wanted to go for a trade, but instead that Shallow Grave keeps him alive. Yoda B might be taking a fall. Never mind, the Burrow Strike was missed up, but Yoda stands inside the Sandstorm, sacrificing his life to be able to land that Sentry Ward, gives a kill over to Sandking, but Sandking's going to be taking a fall, Muel being able to smack him down. Great puck plays coming out from 2IP Muel, was being able to create space for his team, and while that's happening, Wolfcunt able to take a sneaky Roshan on the back of that. He's having an absolutely great game so far. He did feed a kill over to Gats, but he's able to take a Tier 1 Bomb Tower for free, as well as the Roshan. Flash rotating in. He's almost got his Blink Dagger off all the gold he's received from that. He got the assist gold from the kill earlier, as well as the tower gold and the Roshan. 400 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger up on Puck, as well as Centaur Warrunner. Is a terrifying combination. Wolfcunt might actually be caught out of positions. Dumbledore's hanging around with that Shadow Blade. He wants to go in for that initiation. Goes and stabs him, goes in for the pounce, trading hits with Wolfcunt, but Wolfcunt's hitting very hard with that double damage root up on him. He's trying to chase down Gats, Gats fleeing for his life. Rafiki taking a lot of damage from his wolves. He has Shapeshift up, Stampede's been popped, Gats might actually be taking a fall. He doesn't have Chain Frost, it's on cooldown. He's actually caught out of position, he takes the fall over to Flash, is able to steal the deal. Muel comes with the Illusory Orb, he wants to chase down Dumbledore. Dumbledore fleeing for his life. Episode from Rafiki kills off Crystal Maiden. Flash is going to take a fall with the Chakram. King Killer's chasing him down with the Crypto, gets the silence over and Puck. Puck can't blink, all used to phase shift. Puck has already been used up. Shallow Grave might be keeping him alive. Usually the overextended, throws out the Chakram to harass back Muel. He knows the instant the Shallow Grave wears off, he's going to be taking a fall. Timber Chain seals the deal. UGTFO gets a double kill. Amazing plays coming out from him. Looks like Cheese Sentinel is caught in a bad place. 3 heroes from the Horsemen and the Ruckus, and the Crypt Swarm finishes them off. This is what I was talking about. UGTFO is the rock upon which Horsemen and the Ruckus stand. His solidly consistent plays make up for the much more flashier plays coming up from King Killer as well as Dumbledore. As the two of them, now let's go balls to the wall, so they can do that with the peace of mind, knowing that UGTFO always step back, with the fact that he can always come up with the consistent plays, whether he's playing the Timbersaw, the Warrunner, or the Clockwork. He always has that consistent play that the rest of his team can build off. Really good thing to have. Gats is kicking himself since his Chain Frost went off cooldown right as he died. And Jamie calling out the fact that he's not the Egyptian slut. He did stand in for 2IP in that series against Recursion. And apparently it turns out Yoda and Wolfcunt are on 16 Hyde, so just up the road from me and Jamie. The theme for Hyde Street is King Tut and Egyptian sluts. And so for a bit of fun, Jamie had that as his stand-in. Dumbledore going for a very cheeky kill on Yoda. Yoda can't do a goddamn thing. I think it's Dumbledore. Takes the fall. Centaur is able to kill Lich in the background. Dumbledore's caught out of position. He uses Shadow Dance. He might actually be taking a fall. And with that medallion of courage, Wolfcon just smacks him down, saying, "You killed my big bro. I'm out for revenge." UGTFO backing away. He's the one a part of this. And Sandking actually takes a fall. He almost kills Dazzle. Looks like Horsemen and Ruckus are starting to throw a bit. This is something that they're renowned for. They are very talented players, but they do get a bit greedy sometimes. They like to overextend. And this is their biggest weakness as a team, is sometimes they can overcommit and start to throw their leads, similar to EG. They lose more games by throwing them by anything else. It's actually a completely even game. 0 EXP and gold leads, so that's showing you how good both teams are playing right now. It's a bit of a pity that 2 Easy as well as Thundercut couldn't be here for 2 IP. Since I've got Flash as well as the Cheese stands alone as stand-ins. UGTFO over the top lane going for the defense. Aggressive ward placed by Yoda to spot any rotations coming in. But we've got some TP support. Looks like Dumbledore going. He hasn't stopped to farm ever since he picked up that Shadow Blade. He could be going for that Shadow Blade initiation. If he goes on Puck, actually Sentry Ward might spawn in the mount. Yeah, he goes in on Muel. He wants to kill him as soon as possible. He might have overcommitted. He's caught out on his own between 3. Flash stands in, blinks in. Shadow Dance is keeping it alive. UGTFO comes with the Whirling Death. Kills him actually with the Chakram. Never mind. Puck is still alive. How the hell is he still alive? Epicenter coming up for Rafiki. Where's that burst? Like he used it earlier. He can take it at 4. Shadow Grave keeps Wolfcon alive. So it's 1 for 3. Great trade in favor of 2 IP. King Killer's Alpha Avengers. He's shot off to avenge the rest of his team. Cheese stands alone. He might be taking fall there with the Crimson. Never mind. Wolfcon goes a bit too far forward. Turns in. Activates the medallion card to get a lot of damage. King Kill's gonna take a fall. And 2 IP punishing the over-aggression and confidence coming up from the Horsemen and Ruckus. With Flash still giving it a smack talk because he's the only one that took a fall. So 1 for 4 trade. Actually could have been a 1 for 5. Never mind. Lich wasn't present in that engagement. And the Horsemen and Ruckus, their over-aggression being punished. Dumbledore wanted to go for that initiation of him Puck. And this time the Puck was able to phase shift before he could get off his Dark Pack to seal the deal. Forced to use his Shadow Dance, and that early medallion of courage pick up from Wolfcon doing so much work. Gats coming in. He's got that Chain Frost. He wants to go to the UGTFO. Picks up Lycanthrope in the background. Gats to get support fee support. Over with Dazzle up against Lich. Stampede pop. UGTFO is chasing down Dazzle. Cheese stands alone. While it happens, Lich actually dies in the back end to Wolf Harass. Chakram finishes him off. Muel comes in for blood, but UGTFO is very happy to go for that trade. Flash blinks and actually dodges the hoof stomp. He misses on everything. Flash, please. Blink is watching. What are you doing? He's dishonoring your team once again. He's going to back off and pick up the Tranquil Boots to give him that regeneration since he's been throwing out the double edge. With that level 4 hoof stomp though, as well as the level 4 double edge, he provides a huge amount of burst damage. And that burst damage coming out from him, as well as the medallion of courage up on the Lycanthrope and the right clinking power coming out from him, has been enough to actually counteract the Slark. Dumbledore has been overcommitting and dying a lot in these fights, just because he's underestimating how much damage he's taking from the medallion of courage, as well as the hoof stomp with the double edge. Puck has also been able to snipe him out a few times with the illusory orb with the blink of the waning rift, so he needs to get a lot more farm. He needs that BKB up on him. Looks like he might be going for drums of endurance. So Dumbledore, recognizing that his early Shadow Bladed gangs haven't been working out too much, he's going to go try to find some farm. King Killer doing the exact same thing. Cheeky point booster. Looks like he's building towards the Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter will give him so much more survivability in these fights, since if he gets silenced by the Puck, he could self-Yules himself. The Cyclone will actually purge off the silence from the Waning Rift, as well as giving him a 2.5 second window, especially with his exorcisms up. The Spirits are still doing damage during all of that. Muel, he's been having a great game. 4, 2, and 5. He's building towards that Sheepstick. He'll be having that up very shortly. While it's happening, Wolfcon, he's not. The Wolf is at your door. He's knocking down the Tier 2, doing so much damage. Gets hanging out. Yoda actually goes in, catches out Rafiki. Keep in mind the Weaver's on the heroes from the Horsemen and Ruckus. They have very low armor right now. Both support Sandking as well as Lich. They don't have that high armor to begin with, so that negative armor hurts a hell of a lot. King Killer pushing down the tower over the top, and he's going to back the hell away right now, because that's a 5-man rotation coming in. He's actually going to be able to kill Yoda off the back of that. Never mind, the Exorcism Spirit should be able to do the job. Yep. Flash unable to get that hoof stomp, but get that double edge. King Killer help for blood. He's going to try to go for a kill, but that waning rip blink finishes off our Death Prophet. Is on his own 1v5. Flash just barely escapes, and Yoda's very happy to die for that. Once again saying, come at me.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So Flash giving him a bit of smack talk. He's very happy not to be playing that one position hero, so that's all he seems to do over for Blink. They're a very rigid team. All their players have a set role, and that's what they stick to. Sometimes they're Z as well as Snow sometimes switch up who's mid and who's in the off lane. Since Z sometimes plays the Nature's Prophet mid while Snow goes in the Timbersaw off lane, but the majority of the time, their lanes are all sandstone. Arcane Boots picked up on Sandking, so he's got enough money to throw out more than one Burrow Strike in these engagements after he uses his Epicenter, but the Sandking pick has been creating a lot of work space for his team. The instant he picks up a Blink Dagger, that's when they'll be able to create, we're going to win these huge fights with the Epicenter, Blink Epicenter to Barrow Strike Initiation. But the fact that Muel as well as Flash were able to pick up their Blink Daggers before the Horsemen and Ruckus could, is a critical factor in their end. They don't have the initiation power that the Radiant side do, so they've got Stampede as well as double Blink. So the Blink, the Waning Rift, Dream Coil, as well as the Blink into Hoofstomp. The Horsemen and the Ruckus are always playing defensively. And that's where they're weaker as a team. They're a team that like to play aggressively. They like to maintain the initiative, and they like to go on the enemy team before they can react. The fact that they don't have any form of reliable initiation right now, since the Shadowblade initiation hasn't been working out all too well, Slark finds himself called out 1v4, 1v5. It quickly bursts down before the rest of his team can initiate in. UGTFO almost has his Bloodstone. Actually chose to go for Arcane Boots as well as a Soul Booster. He didn't disassemble his Arcane Boots. A very interesting build coming out from him, considering Bloodstone solves all of Timbersaw's mana needs, unless if you don't have that many charges. But since you start with 8 charges now once you finish it, should be more than enough. At any rate, that really delays his Bloodstones. His Bloodstone's a timing-specific item. The faster you get it, the more effective it is. Since if you pick it up before the 20-minute mark, which he would have had he chosen to disassemble his Arcane Boots, could have been able to pick up the charges in these fights. Wolfcant just able to take a look what could be a free tower to tower, never mind the support's able to rotate in, finish off the wolves. This is the issue with Lycanthrope, is he's such a powerful death ball hero. He can push down all your towers, get his gold that way. Once you get the Necro 3 up, he can win in these 5-on-5 engagements because he outputs so much DPS from Necronomicon Illusions. 3000 EXP lead in favor of 2 IP, a 1500 gold lead. Horsemen and Ruckus on the back foot. Very, very rare to see this happen. Similar to Blink, they're a team that like to win the early game and then maintain that lead. Actually have a disconnect coming out from Sandking. Quick pause coming out from 2IP, recognizing that sometimes people have internet issues. I'm not too sure what's happening, considering I'm over in the living room with the Ethernet cable to ensure that my streaming isn't interrupting his disconnect. Looks like they're going for a pause as well. Jamie should be able to reconnect, and he is playing from a Mac, so sometimes it does cause issues, especially when he's playing from his room where the Wi-Fi isn't as strong compared to the living room. We do this to make sure that there's no possibility of stream cheating, since we're always in separate rooms, so whenever I cast one of his games, he's in a completely separate room, so he can't look over at my screen if he decided to. And I can't yell anything out at him. Crystal Maiden choosing to max out the Arcane Aura. Actually, very farm Crystal Maiden. Dazzle was able to pick up a mechanism from all the farm he's able to get. Dazzle with his Shadow Wave can actually pick up a significant amount of farm, since all he has to do is walk up to a wave, get in between the melee creeps and the range creeps, throw out the heal. The heal will bounce between the melee creeps as well as himself, so it provides 700 burst damage to the creep wave, instantly killing off all the melee creeps. Gives him a lot of farm that way. As well as the fact that he's been keeping his teammates alive with that Shallow Grave, really punishes the over-aggression coming up from the Horsemen and the Ruckus, so they rely on killing people before they can, and then running away before anything else happens. They don't like to overcommit to these fights, so that Shallow Grave forces them to overcommit, otherwise it keeps key heroes alive. So you saw Wolfcant over in the bottom lane when King Killer went at him with the haste rune. He just barely survived because of the great Shallow Grave coming out from the Cheese stands in alone. Yoda could actually be going for a blink of his own, so if you have that Blink, Waning Rift into Dream Coil with Crystal Maiden blinking with that freezing field. Huge amount of damage coming up from the Radiant side. That could actually kill off the Dire side before they even have a chance to respond. Sandking has been following up some great counter initiation with the Epicenter, recognizing when the enemy team have wasted all their CC, popping Epicenter sometimes in the middle of fights just to be able to get it off and ensure that he provides that burst damage. But the Shallow Grave has been doing a lot of work. We've got a 3-man smoke rotation happening with Gats, King Killer, as well as Dumbledy. Wards are placed. I think are those Die or Radiant wards? That's a Radiant Sentry ward, so that might actually spot out Dumbledy, but he's calling up the smoke, so nothing's revealed from smoke. And so they're going to look to get a pick off. Looks like Muel might actually be called out of position. They want to get a Orchid of Malevolence up as soon as possible on one of their core heroes. Probably going to be Dumbledy that has to build it. Although UGTFO and the Timbersaw could be building towards either an Orchid of Malevolence or towards a Sheepstick, just because Puck has been creating so much work in these fights. The fact that he hasn't been locked down. He almost has his Sheepstick about 1.5k off. If he gets that, it's a significant advantage that 2IP have. Dumbledy's going to catch him out. We'll go into Pounce, follow up with the Dark Pack, but 2IP Muel, great reflexes on him. Shadowblade wears off, he's able to blink himself away. Thought that something wasn't quite right, and instantly backs himself away. UGTFO also smoked up. Yoda's illusion is scaling it out, but the smoke doesn't break, so he should be fine. He's almost got his Bloodstone with that creep wave. Yeah, there we go. He should have enough to finish it. If he gets that CS, unless the King Killer takes him from him, never mind. Neither of them get it. He can sell his GG Brand to use that to finish off its Bloodstone, and that will give him a significant amount of teamfight presence. As if, for whatever reason, Timbersaw gets focused down first. He's always providing that heal to the rest of his team. It's a thing to keep in mind. Timbersaw functions similar in the team fights to the Bristleback, is that he runs and you don't want to focus him because not only is he hard to kill, he's also very mobile, and that means you have to waste a lot of your CC spells as well as a lot of your burst damage to bring him down. But at the same time, if you don't finish him off, he will actually carve a bloody swath through your team. The fact that he deals pure damage through all of his abilities means that all his scales he's very relevant into all stages of the game. He can actually instantly kill Yoda if he goes in him. Gets that double chakram into the Welling Death into the Timber Chain. Yoda goes from about 100% HP to about 20%. You can just right click him down a few more times, follow up with another Timber Chain, finish off the Crystal Maiden. But this is a very farm Crystal Maiden. 2 braces up on her, as well as keeping up on ward duty. Wolfcon might actually be called out with a pounce from Double D. Never mind, he just barely misses Shapeshift pop by Lycan, keeping himself alive. Level 1 Necrobook up on him. Yoda also rotating over. Rafiki might be a bit of trouble right now. Level 4 Wolf scanning out Rafiki. He might be taking the fall unless he's able to Burrow Strike himself to safety. Dumbledy is actually caught up by Flash. Blink at the double edge with a great initiation coming up. The Chain Frost comes out from Gats, but it's wasted as Flash is able to jump himself away. Dumbledy is called out, dies to the freezing field, 2 IP, taking a very convincing 3-0 fight. Exorcism pop by Kingkiller. He yields himself to safety. Flash taking a lot of damage. He might take a fall. Welling Death finishes him. But Kingkiller also takes a fall. UGTFO is called out. Ultra kill over at Wolfcon. It might even be a rampage. Is it going to be a rampage? Never mind. Puck steals the last hit with the waiting rift. Report Puck called out from Wolfcon. And Horsemen and Ruckus feeding 5 for 1. They're falling apart. The seams from the initiation power coming out from the Radiant side. The fact that they've got double blink initiation over in the Radiant side, as well as the fact that Chain Frost was wasted. Epicenter couldn't get let off because Sandking died too quickly to the DPS coming out from the Medallion of Courage over in the Lycanthrope. It does so much damage when you have negative armor. He was able to just right click him down. Sandking couldn't do a thing. And Sandking without the Epicenter in fights isn't able to really accomplish all too much. Chakrams thrown out to defend the tower, but it looks like a free tattoo tower. And it could perhaps be an upset. Horsemen and Ruckus have drawn 1 so far up against TYK. Could be another draw from them. And if they actually draw against Horsemen against 2IP, 2IP actually have a chance to move on to the next stage. So that means that the Cheese stands alone. Standing in right now could be a potential 5th member for 2IP, as I think it might be a tiebreaker match between TYK as well as 2IP, so that could determine who moves on to the next stage. Just because we have 5 very strong teams in Group 2, they're all very likely to move in. Felfie and Friends, Bambi Rising, Horsemen and Ruckus, 2IP as well as TYK. And so either of those teams have a good chance of making it to the next stage. So 2IP could be the upset, looking to get a snipe off. Could snipe off TYK and ensure that they move into the next stage while TYK gets eliminated. Could be interesting to see. Double D just scouting around. His items haven't progressed at all ever since he's picked up a Shadow Blade and drums. Looks like he'll have to go for that BKB since that AoE DPS coming out from the Radiant team has killed him. You saw Crystal Man dropping that freezing field while he was in Shadow Dance. He's just locked in place with the Dream Coil. He was able to kill him during these fights. Slark hasn't really been all that effective. That's the issue with Slark as a one-position hero, is he needs to snowball and also be effective as a carry. And that snowball has been punished against the Radiant sides. That Shallow Grave ensures that if you overextend, you're forced to overextend and overcommit to get these kills. Wolfcon smokes into Roshan. Hasn't been spotted out. If he's able to secure another Roshan, it will just widen the gold lead in favor for his team. 7,500 EXP lead. That's more important at this point. The EXP lead, the fact that you've got level 2 ults up on the support heroes, as well as the offlaner for the Radiant side. Whereas Sandking only has his level 1 ult. And Lich, he's only got his level 1 ultimate as well. He still doesn't have his Mechanza. The lack of an early mech has been proving to be a critical factor. Looks like the Dire side is smoking into Roshan. They're hoping to catch out Lycanthrope, but they could choose to go for this. I don't actually know if they have enough DPS. If they pop the Exorcism, they will, but that's an Exorcism you don't have for a team fight. It's the issue with Death Prophet as a hero as well, is they have 2 snowball-related heroes. Death Prophet as well as the Slark. Looks like they're going to commit the Death Prophet Exorcism to kill off Roshan. You see Kingkiller's right in melee range, so his spirits can instantly hit Roshan and fly back to him, so that's giving him significant amount of DPS. Look how fast Roshan is dropping right now. Ping out, I think Rafiki might have been called out, never mind. Orb of Venom drops a Slark with an Aegis the Immortal. Incredibly difficult to bring down. Death Prophet isn't the best hero you want your Aegis the Immortal on, just because Exorcism ends when she dies. Unlike Lone Druid's Bear, she has to pop her ult again, but if her ult's already been used and you're able to kill her off, that's some wasted ult for her, similar to Dragon Knight. Whereas Slark, he's hard enough to bring down already since he effectively has 2 lives with the Shadow Dance acting as a get out of jail free card. Looks like a tier 2 tower actually denied by Kingkiller. Great plays coming out from Kingkiller, and looks like Lycanthrope might be caught out of position. Yoda's hanging around the back end, pops his ult, Flash blinks in, Silent flies out, Chain Frost is bouncing back and forth, never mind. Flash instantly splits himself away, Gats comes in, Yoda takes a fall over the back line, the Slark takes a fall for his Aegis, the Immortal, he trades his life and wants to kill Yoda, comes back into life, takes a fall with that double edge, and Centaur Warrunner is able to burst him down. Blink over on Muel. He's silenced up, however. King Killer fleeing for his life. Burrow Strike coming in from Rafiki, but he's copying a lot of damage. Necrobook 3 as well as that Sentry Ward. He instantly dies. He should have backed away the instant he Burrow Striked himself in. Wolfgun is absolutely on fire right now, especially in conjunction with Muel, able to provide that support. He blinks in. Flash goes in with another stomp, gets one. Muel goes in with the illusory as well as the blink initiation. King Killer's been calling. He takes the fall, one more right click from Puck. Sheepstick up on Puck. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. UGTFO hanging around. But that actually could be a Rex, as that's the issue with the Lycanthrope. If you lose a fight, you lose a lane of Rex immediately. He pushes so goddamn quickly. It's the reason why he's such a powerful hero.
Let there be a moment of silence.
He gets the death ball rolling.
The sky is falling.
From the 20-minute mark onward, he comes online a lot faster than your carries do. The two snowball heroes over in the Horsemen and Ruckus, with King Killer over the Death Prophet, as well as the Slark being counterpicked and controlled by the calculated aggression coming up from 2IP. Centaur Warrunner really does control the Slark pickup. Puck is able to go toe-to-toe against Death Prophet. Muel actually takes a fall while I'm saying that. Flash is going to be a lot of damage. He's going to be taking fall as well. Shallow Grave up on him, keeping it alive for as long as possible. Cheese stands alone, almost out of mana. Fleeing for his life. King Killer's in the back end. He wants blood. He gets him with the Crypt Swarm. 2IP overextended the welcome to the one lane of Rax advantage. Cheese stands alone, got a couple of damage. Timbersaw's able to seal the deal with the Timber Chain. And Horsemen and Ruckus, they're down, but they're not out. They're one Rax down against the Lycanthropes. The game just got a lot more difficult for them. But we'll see if they're able to turn this game around. Tier 2 over in the bottom lane is actually in deny range. Lycanthrope might actually go for a cheeky backdoor push. He's got his Necrobook 3 images up. So with the Wolves, he should be the killer through the backdoor regeneration. So some Clinks level backdoor coming up from Lycanthrope, who's just picked up a fresh 10-second BKB. Lycanthrope's been doing so much work in these fights as he has such huge DPS output with the Wolves, with the Howl, as well as the Necronomicon, with Feral Impulse and the Shapeshift buff up on them. With a 10-second BKB, I don't think Horsemen and Ruckus actually can kill him right now. So they'll be relying on the Slark pounce into Dark Attack combinations to either do a lot of work, but Slark hasn't really been all too effective. He's been controlled by the sheer amount of magic damage coming out. Flash has been punishing the aggression. He's able to counter initiate the Blink Hoof Stomp, catches out the Slark, able to finish him off the double edge. UGTFO Flash actually once again miscalculates the Blink. I caught that on camera. Flash, buddy, what are you up to? He could have gotten the free kill over UGTFO, but unfortunately miscalculated the Blink, misses the Hoof Stomp, and UGTFO just says laters and TP's back to Fountain. He's hanging around. He's got a lot of gold. I would like to see Sheepstick up on UGTFO, since they need a way to be able to lock down and control the Puck, who's been running around, creating so much space for the rest of his team with the Waning Rift, as well as the Illusory Orb. The issue with Puck is if he gets a good lead against this well-skilled Puck player with a Blink Dagger as well as the Phase Shift, he's so damn hard to kill. Over in the top lane, looks like Rafiki's going to get caught out of position, turned into a pig, going to be beaten up by the Wolf. They're Waning Rift just to silence him in case he wanted to get away. Blade Mail picked up by Timbersaw. Usually a pretty good pickup considering the AoE impact, but I would have preferred to see something like a Sheepstick, just because when Lycanthrope pops his BKB, he doesn't give a damn about your Blade Mail. Looks like they're going to group up for a push, break the high ground by going in through the top lane. Sandking has been caught in a position a lot. He's been trying to find space and farm for his Blink Dagger. The fact that he's died 8 times this game hasn't really been all too effective. Lich as well keeps throwing out his ultimate over on Flash, who instantly splits himself away from the rest of the team to ensure that the Chain Frost doesn't bounce. I don't think he's had a bouncing Chain Frost ever since the one he got in the bottom lane against the Lycanthrope. So his Chain Frost has been mitigated, Epicenter has been mitigated, Horsemen and Ruckus losing a huge amount of damage. UGTFO, you have to keep in mind, Weave has been popped, so the players over for Horsemen and Ruckus have to be very careful. It's caught up to Frostbite, Timber Chains to safety, Silence over in the Dazzle, as well as the Lycanthrope. Rafiki turned into a pig, Blink Initiation, gets one, Sandking drops instantly, Chain Frost drops, but is disjointed by the Puck Phase Shift. Wolfgun pops his BKB, he's going to kill Gat, Muel's going to right click him down, UGTFO running for his life. Looks like 2IP actually going to take this game. Double D goes in the backhand, catches out Muel, but Muel has the 5-second Shallow Grave. Freezing Field, snaring up Dumble. He is fleeing for his life. Illusory Orb, Puck is able to steal the deal once again. Muel MVP of this game, creating so much space for his team, punishing the over-aggression coming out from Horsemen and Ruckus, and going to go toe-to-toe with King Killer. It's very rare to see King Killer being outlaid so badly in the mid lane. Flash able to get a great hoof stop over UGTFO. Crypt Swarm misses, he blinks himself to safety. Flash coming at you, caught out with the Timber Chains of the Welling Death. It's going to either chuck him to the face or take a fall. Flash falls, but while that's happening, Dazzle actually kills off Dumble D with a well-timed Shadow Wave. How often do you see the 5-position player killing the 1 position? He's going to turn around and kill King Killer. Dazzle is balling out of control. Never mind, UGTFO and Rafiki able to turn around and kill him. Very messy fight coming out from 2IP. They actually dive too far and feed 5 kills to Horsemen and Ruckus. They did expend a few buybacks, but the Rax is still up for bot and top, and this could be the signs of a turnaround. Horsemen and Ruckus are saying, we're done, but you're not out. If you want to take the rest of our racks, you're going to fight tooth and nail for them. 10,000 EXP lead, 7,500 gold lead, but this is starting to dip. Horsemen and Ruckus do have a window of opportunity. If they're able to start pushing down some lanes, you have to keep in mind the top lane, not only is the super creeps, it also has the tier 1 and the tier 2 up. It's going to make it so difficult to be able to push down both lanes of racks. The lane with the creep wave before you even go for the racks. So that means they might even have to forego top lane, go in through mid and through bot, try to go for tier 4s instead of trying to go for megas. BKB up on Puck, so Puck is absolutely untouchable in these fights. He just says, can't touch this with the 10-second BKB with the phase shift, as well as the blink and the sheep stick. Muel has been playing out of his mind, completely controlling Death Prophet with his Waning Rift and with the Dream Call initiation. Death Prophet actually going for a harder Tarask. He almost has it. Very good item choice coming out from King Killer. Recognizing the Bloodstone is a very greedy pickup. There's no need for him to go for the Bloodstone since he's not going to be able to finish it for another 10 minutes. And even if he does finish it, it's not going to give his team any utility. Whereas going for the harder Tarask gives him the HP to be able to stand tall in these fights, get his DPS out through his exorcism. Since the longer Death Prophet's alive, the more Crypt Swarms you're throwing out, the more silences, the more exorcism does damage to the rest of your team. So Horsemen and Ruckus, recognizing the way to win this isn't through burst damage, but through just being a tank up and deal as much damage as possible. Slark with the Sage, he could be going SNY. I know Tommy likes to go for that item on just about everybody. Would like to see a BKB up on him, but we'll see what he can choose to do. He could also go for that Heaven's Halberd, try to disarm the Lycanthrope, but the fact that the majority of Lycan's damage is coming from his minions, is he's going for that Zoo build, and then he has a BKB. Heaven's Halberd is a pretty mediocre pickup against him, although it does give him the 25% physical evasion, which is nice. And look, Roshan's about to respawn, so the Radiant side is going to hang back, wait for Roshan to spawn, get Roshan, and use the Aegis advantage to try to push for tier 3 over the mid and into the bottom lane. Park, he just needs to save for buyback at this point. He's almost pretty much tapped out in terms of items. He could go for a Boots of Travel, sell his bottle, sell his one for a few more items. But at this point, a Puck with a BKB as well as a Sheep Stick, you've got pretty much everything you could ever really want for. Anything else is just gravy at that point. Gats, his Lich hasn't really been as good as it usually is. The fact that his Chain Frost has always been dodged with some great reactive play coming out from 2IP, instantly splitting the instant Chain Frost flies, as it has a very slow projectile speed. That's the biggest drawback of Lich. There's this reliance on Chain Frost to win team fights, and Chain Frost is an ability that is dependent on how good the other team is. If they're able to split up, Chain Frost is completely mitigated. It's the reason why Lich has fallen off in the competitive scene, as well as the fact that Lich can't counter push at all. So the fact that they picked up Lycan as an excellent counter pitch to Lich, since Lich has no CC to hold Lycan in place. When he shapeshift, Lycan cannot be snared at all. It's like a haste rune. The fact that Lich can't stop pushes means that Lycanthrope can push down all your lands and just wait for you to throw out your ult. Dodge your ult of his own by running away. The fact he also has his wolves as well as a Necronomicon minions means that there are 4 more units in the fight for Chain Frost, so Lich has been completely countered. His effectiveness, he hasn't really been that effective at all. He still has the Frost Armor, which is nice. Roshan spawns, and Muel's already leading the way. Medallion of Courage, this is why you get Medallion of Courage, folks. It gives you so much damage. Wolfcunt's really been showing off just how much damage Lycanthrope can do with just the Medallion of Courage. As you saw in the earlier engagements, you're just able to turn around and just beat down Slark. Say, buddy, you've got -1 armor. I hit like a truck. I've got wolf claws. I'm a Wolverine. What are you going to do? Hugh Jackman ain't got nothing on me. Able to take a free Roshan. Dire side can't really choose to go on this. If they had a Blink Dagger, they could have perhaps gone for an Aegis Steal or a Blink Epicenter Initiation. The Sandking's been heavily shut down. The fact that he doesn't have a Blink Dagger 35 minutes in the game is indicative of the state of the game. He's got 800 gold. Would have liked to see him not go for that Urn of Shadows. Urn of Shadows is a snowballing item. It offers you nothing if you're behind, since if you don't have any charges or if you're not winning these fights, the heal coming up from the Urn of Shadows isn't really effective. It's a great item to buy when you're ahead, when you're going for those early ganks into pushes, so you can use it to sustain the rest of your team. But when you're playing from behind, it offers you nothing. The 800 gold he could have spent, an SOI picked up by Slark, so it is an SOI from him. UGTFO called out, one-man weave, Blink initiation from Flash is able to go in. Chain Frost flies out, bouncing back between Flash as well as Wolfgun. Wolfgun's a BKB. UGTFO takes the fall. Blink Epicenter Initiation. Yoda's just barely keeping himself alive. Double D gets the last right click, turns into a pig, leaps himself to safety. Wolfgun's right click him down. UGTFO is back into the fight. I think he bought back. Yeah, he buys back. Flash blinks in with the initiation with the Hoofstorm. Death Prophet actually kills me on the background. So the power of the Death Prophet exorcism with the Heart of Tarask. Flash takes a fall. Flash, please, dishonoring the Blink name. He's not been having a great game so far. He's either been miscalculating his Blink or he's been called out by the exorcism. Exorcism just worn off. Weave keeping Wolfgun More armor. Usually TFO is going in. He's going to go in on the Dazzle as he cops a lot of damage from the chain as well as the Welling Death and the Chakram. Duking out with Wolfcant. He pops his Blade Mail saying, buddy, your BKB's off cooldown. You're going to eat a lot of damage. Actually misses that Timber Chain. Spider-Man can't land all those chains from time to time. He misses as well. Wolfcant pops the Shade Shift. He has the Aegis the Immortal. He did not go down during that fight. But Horsemen and Ruckus able to hold their racks even though they're so far behind. Great defensive plays coming out from them. EXP lead is starting to narrow in favor of the Horsemen and Ruckus. Only 6,000 lead. Gold lead still 7,500. Centaur able to take Roshan as well as that tier 3. Yoda picks up a Drums of Endurance so he can get more stats to be beefier against the Slark. Would have preferred, he's already got a Ghost Scepter as well. So with the Blink Dagger, Drums of Endurance, and a Ghost Scepter, this Crystal Maiden is so fun right now for a 5-position support. She's living the support life. Not only has she been placing some great ward coverage in the map, as you see, the Horsemen and Ruckus have got an aggressive ward placed here, which actually offers them nothing, and a defensive ward placed here, but since that lane has already been pushed in, that ward also offers them nothing. Compared to the ward coverage coming out from the Radiant side, you see a ward over in the mid lane, as well as in the Ancients to lock down all forms of farm that the Dire side can have, to use to try to recover. Gats has finally picked up his mechanism, I think. Sandking might be pretty close to his Blink Dagger now. Never mind, he did go down during that fight, even though he was able to get a good epicenter off. Without that Blink Dagger, Sanking's initiation power is severely limited. They're going in, getting some cheeky harass over in the range racks. The range racks has less regeneration than the melee racks. 0.1 HP per second, whereas the melee racks have 5 HP regeneration per second. So it means if you're going to niggle away at towers, at the racks, the range racks is the one you want to go for. Timbersaw looks like he's going for the Shiva's Guard. Good pickup. I still would prefer to see a Sheep Stick just because you don't have any ways to really hold the Lycanthrope and beat him down. Slark going for the Pounce, but he could just stand tall and just beat Slark down during the Pounce duration. So Timbersaw's going for that tanky presence. However, the Plate Mail is a good pickup on him. Since the Shiva's Guard severely mitigates the physical DPS coming out from the Radiant side, since it provides that negative 40% attack speed aura to the Lycanthrope. So it's counteracting the Feral Impulse. A lot of laughter coming out from Slark as well as the Death Prophet. Not too sure what that was for. Just some creepy laughter in the background. Horsemen and Ruckus are hanging on. Roshan will be respawning in about 7 minutes. So the Radiant side, they can't really push him without the Aegis advantage since they have been beaten back pretty soundly. And Flash, wow, he's gone for Treads over in Centaur Warrunner. Very rare to see that, considering the fact that he has a Pipe of Insight. He doesn't need the regeneration coming out from the Tranquil Boots. Treads is a better late game boot choice for Centaur Warrunner, as the more strength he has, the more damage his return as well as his Stampede does. And since Flash is a carry player, maybe he just wants to right-click people since it gives him some decent attack speed. Centaur Warrunner actually does hit fairly hard just because he has 3.8 strength gain per level. And so as the game goes further and further, he actually does a fair amount of DPS. Slark actually choosing to disassemble is S and Y. So he's going to go from Mantis Style into the Heaven's Halberd. So he's got the Heaven's Halberd for now. Mantis Style isn't the greatest pickup on Slark. He can use it to destroy the Waiting Rift. So he's got that going for him. But otherwise, it could just be a value Yasha. Really would like to see a BKB up on him since he's been controlled so heavily by the AoE abilities coming out from the Radiant side. But since he's tanked up with all his items now, he can just shrug off the damage. And with that Shadow Dance regeneration, 9% regeneration per level, 7% regeneration per second. That's 2 Heart of Tarask. That's 3 Heart of Tarask active at once. So that's a lot of HP he's regenerating. So in the 5.5 seconds, he's regenerating about 40% of his HP pool. Death Prophet will be interesting to see what item she goes for. Would like to see a Sheep Stick up on her, since she's not going to be going for towards that Bloodstone. She doesn't really need it. Pipe of Insight pop to make the creep wave tanky to bring down. That's a very good way to be able to ensure your creeps make it to high ground. They're pushing down the range rack so they can ensure they get a rack. Muel blinks in, but it's instantly silenced. Stampede pop, BKB pop. Rafiki caught out position, unable to get his epicenter off. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. Actually kills off Dazzle in the backline. While that's happening, Death Prophet takes a fall. He buys back. Didn't use his Exorcism. Yoda takes a fall to that Chain Frost and pops his Exorcism now. Trying to defend this. With the 2 cores over Horsemen and Ruckus duking out. Mule's running back. He's got that Ethereal coming out from the Ghost Scepter. With the Exorcism up, I don't think he should be able to blink out. Yeah, he's caught out position. He takes a fall. Horsemen and Ruckus able to hold on to their racks. Some fantastic defensive plays coming out from them. Instant pings over in the mid lane. They want to go for some racks of their own. They're sick of being 1 racks behind. Horsemen and Ruckus might actually be able to turn this game around.
Under attack.
EXP lead is almost minimal. 2,000 EXP list lane to the game is nothing. 5,000 gold lead, that's also minimal. Although keep in mind, Horsemen and Ruckus have bought back a lot. So a lot of their gold has been wasted. Aegis actually going to be reclaimed, so Lycanthrope doesn't have that.
All alone in the world. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And in the bottom tower, we've actually got Dumblebee. He might be the catcher of Wolfcon. He's instantly backing away, fearing Flash gonna hang around. Never mind with that Shadow Blade. He's gonna get a cheeky kill over Wolfcon. Never mind, the Shapeshift just barely keeps him alive. He turns around, turns and fights. He's able to kill him off, but he might be able to take a fall to Flash. Coming in with the carry. Never mind, pounces to safety. Aegis just wore off. He's juking out Flash. Never mind, the Wolf finishes him off. Great timing coming out from Dumblebee, waiting until the Aegis Muel wore off. Gats also came in to help. Support v support, but Crystal Man's a lot more stacked than the Lich is. Throwing out some right clicks. Where's Flash coming in with that blink? He wishes he had the Tranquil Boost. Now throws out the double edge. Blink as well as the Frostbite. King Killer comes in provides support, but Gats fell apart during that. There's nothing King Killer can do. Especially 1v3. Just gonna take a quick break. Give me a few seconds. Just need to catch my breath. Whew. So in terms of net worth, you see that Lycanthrope as well as the Puck are leading the scoreboards. Just gonna actually grab a quick drink of water. Hopefully there won't be any action happening. For those of you watching, there still is Felfie and friends playing at Horsemen and Ruckus up at 9:30. That should be an excellent best of 2 series as well. They're both incredibly powerful teams. Felfie and the friends are the only teams who have beaten Blink in the try-v-try situations. They've got some great coordination. They really rely on the Disruptor picks though. So I wonder if we'll be seeing a Disruptor respect band coming up from the Horsemen and Ruckus. Okay, so back into it. Horsemen and Ruckus have been able to hold on to their second lane of racks. They've lost top, and that could be the critical factor in the end. Blink Dagger finally picked up by Sandking. I've been waiting for this for the last 20-30 minutes. Having that Blink Epicenter initiation is massive, as it means that Sandking can hang back in these fights, channel his Epicenter, then blink in, follow up the Burrow Strike right as the Chain Frost flies. That's the combination Horsemen and Ruckus wanted from the start. But the fact that Sandking had such a poor early game, he went for the greedy Own the Shadows build, pick up over the Sandking, which works when you're ahead, but when you're behind, Own the Shadows offers you nothing. So that was 875 gold that could have gone towards his Blink Dagger. That meant he would have had it about 20 minutes earlier. So he was sitting at about 1,500 gold for a really long time. So now that he has the Blink Dagger, he can use the Epicenter, blink in, get that Burrow Strike on 2-3 heroes. It also means that Sandking's Burrow Strike can land consistently on 2 and 3 heroes. Sandking's Burrow Strike is one of the best AoE stuns in the game. Just because it repositions yourself as well, and it's very easy to hit 2 or 3 heroes. Radiant side deciding that we've been pushing mid this entire time, why not try pushing bot? We've been doing the same thing over and over, and it hasn't been working. Some great defensive plays coming up from the Horsemen to Ruckus, as I have that high ground advantage. What I'd actually like to see coming up from 2IP, so then to get a smoke gang, actually break high ground through top, and then going for a flank attempt from there. Since once they have the high ground vision over in the mid lane, that shuts down any initiation or counter-initiation power the Horsemen of the Ruckus have. Since that's the reason why it's so hard to break base, is the fact that you don't know what the enemy team is doing. So information and intelligence are very powerful things, especially in Dota 2. Would also like to see maybe an offensive ward placed over here. Just all over there. Yeah, we see an offensive ward placed. There we go. So it looks like one of them was read my mind. Dumbledee's, he knows something's up since he's losing his Shadow Dance regeneration, so he's pinging that, drops the Sentry Ward, goes in, they instantly de-ward. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. Slark has a lot of team fight utility just because of the fact that he can spot out where your wards are. So over in the mid lane, Radiant's like grouping up for a push again. Few pings out, Dumbledee's hanging around. He's been catching up a lot in terms of items. He actually might be able to go for a solo kill over on Dazzle. He's been hanging around on zone, but Flash always been standing by, make sure to jump over on Slark every time he goes on one of his teammates. He's picked up a Blade Mail. And you see from his damage stats, he actually hits fairly hard, just because of the fact he has such great stat growth. Blade Mail is a pretty good pickup on Centaur Warrunner. Since you could use it since you're going to be in the front lines anyway, tanking a lot of damage. The fact that you have such a high strength game means you don't really need to build any additional strength items. It's nice for, he could actually build towards a Heaven's Halberd. That could be his next big pickup, just because it offers him a lot of DPS, as well as more EHP with a 25% physical evasion. He could use the disarm on Slark, but he could purge it off the Dark Pack, so he could actually use it to disarm King Killer. Since he is, Death Prophet does actually hit fairly hard, just because she'll be able to get a lot of hits off. With the strong chasing capability coming out with the Muel Scepter, the Phase Boots, as well as the Phase ability and the Witchcraft. So you see, right now, without Phase active, 462 movement speed. With Phase active, it's something like 510, 511, could even be max movement speed. Yeah, 521. With Phase active, So high mobility over on Death Prophet. Although that was also when she was in range of the Drums of Endurance, so keep that in mind. Radiant team grouping up for Roshan. Muel spotted it out. Yoda blinks down from the high ground. 3 blinks up on that team. Dazzle's the only one that could go for a blink now, but he's going for a Bloodstone. Greed upon greed from the Dazzle. Bloodstone offers you absolutely nothing on the Dazzle. He could have gone for a Sheath Stick or even an Aghanim Scepter. Help out that negative armor. Hell, even a Desolator would be a better pickup than the Bloodstone from the Dazzle. So some greedy builds coming out from their players. They could actually start to throw the game if they go for these greedy builds. The Soul Caress picked up on Lycanthrope, so that gives them a lot more DPS, survivability, and pushing power. Puck picked up the Ghost Scepter. He could upgrade that later on to an Ethereal Blade if he really wants to, since Puck actually has a fairly high amount of intelligence. So the Ethereal Blade nuke can be the extra thing to seal the deal, especially besides build towards a Dagon. Creep Wave has broken high ground with that Pipe of Insight. That's the reason why Pipe is pretty effective. But wow, they're already smacking that town. Where's that fortification? Fortification popped very late. Lycanthrope almost takes the town in about 2-3 seconds. Epicenter wasted from Sandking. Actually gets nothing. Hoopstop misses on everybody as well. What are you up to, Flash? What's happening? Dumbledore pops his Shadow Dance. Freezing Field pop. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. UGTFO hanging around the top in the front line with that Blade Mail pop. Flash copying a lot of damage. Lotus falling from exchange for Gats. Dumbledore, Shadow Dance is one off. He actually pounces, catches out Centaur Warrunner. He's actually going to turn around and kill him with the double edge. You always have to be wary of that. Rafiki buys back in, throws out the Burrow Strike. Sandstorms flees to safety. King Killer's hanging around. He might be able to get a kill on Muel if he's able to land that Crypt Storm, get a few more right clicks in. UGTFO comes right in and able to kill Wolfcut. Never mind, Shadow Grave keeping him alive. Sandking comes back in with the Blink Dagger. Wolfcut smacks down UGTFO. Aegis is popped, but he's still alive. Flash bolt back into that fight. He's running in to help him out. Pounds coming up from Double D. Never mind, it misses. Shapeshift keeping him alive. Never mind, Yule Scepter keeping him up. Where's that Burrow Strike coming up from Sandking? Burrow Strike land. Another pounce over from great defensive Blink Initiation coming out from Flash. Locking him in place. Disarm over on Wolfcut, so he can't do anything. He's duking up with Flash, but Flash hits so freaking hard right now. You see how much damage he's actually doing these fights. Stampede pop, trying to keep Wolfcut alive for as long as possible. Shadow has been popped again. Dumbledore runs away to juke out the Hoop Stomp. Centaur Warrunner buying so much space over for Wolfcut. Trying to chase him down. That Dark Pact damage might be enough. BKB pop to keep himself alive. Gets one more stab and brings him down. Flash is actually caught up the Yule Step. They can turn around and go for a kill attempt on him as well. Hoop Stomp lands. Where's that double edge? Double edge. Dumbledore might actually take it fall. Never mind. Dumbledore's fleeing from his life. Wolves are able to bring him down. King Killer running as well. Centaur Warrunner has been countering Slark so effectively with the Hoof Stomp. And once again, calling come at me. Flash laying down to smack talk. Both teams are very friendly with each other. Goes in with the Hoof Stomp initiation over on UGTFO. Throws out the double edge. Freezing Field from Crystal Maiden doing so much damage. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. Kills off Flash. Bouncing back and forth. Hits Yoda as well. Kills Yoda. You know what they say, you talk shit, you get shit on. But they lose their mid lane racks while all this is happening. So Horsemen and Ruckus, despite some fantastic defensive players, have lost a tier 4 tower as well as the mid lane racks. Their 2 racks is down and 1 tier 4 down. If they lose one fight, it's game over for them. Keep in mind that the tier 1 and tier 2s are still up for the Radiant side. 2 IP have both towers over in the top lane are still up, as well as 1 tower over in the bottom lane. Looks like Dazzle, he's picked up a Blink Dagger, so maybe he overheard what I was saying 2 minutes earlier, saying that the Dazzle needs a Blink Dagger as well. Decides not to go for his Bloodstone, picks up that Blink Dagger instead. So the only hero that doesn't have a Blink Dagger is Lycanthrope, but he has Shapeshift as well as Stampede. So he don't need no Blink. When was the last time you saw a blinking wolf? He just runs up at you and starts smacking you down. Although I guess the answer to that is when Flash plays him.
Radiant's middle tower is under
King Killer
attack.
pushing out the lane. Lycanthrope going for that Abyssal Blade, so now he could go toe-to-toe against that Slark. So he doesn't really care about that Essence Shift. He can turn it around, use that Abyssal Blade stun, start smacking him down. UGTF actually called out the Waning Rift, so throws out the Shiva's Guard active retaliation. Crypt Storm doing a lot of damage to the Creep Wave. Mech pop to keep the Creep Wave alive, as well as that Shadow Wave. Assault Karras and Veil of Discord picked up for Horsemen and Ruckus, so 2 very key items. Assault Karras means that King Killer's spirits do a lot more damage as a physical DPS, makes her harder to bring down. She hasn't died ever since she's picked up Harder Tarask. It's very difficult to bring down Death Prophet with a Yule Scepter as well as a Harder Tarask. Also means that Dumbledore's doing a lot more damage. Could actually be seeing would like to see a Basher coming out from Slark, come to think of it. Just because he needs a way to be able to lock people in place and do that extra damage. The issue with Slark, as you're seeing from this game, especially as a one-position hero, is it's very difficult to play from behind when you're playing as a Slark. In about another hour, we're going to have Felfie and friends playing Horsemen and Ruckus, so they should be able to have a quick 30-40 minute break before that happens. But so far, very strong back and forth games. An amazing defensive play coming up from the Horsemen of Ruckus. So even though they're down, they're not out. They are slowly and methodically losing their advantage. Actually, I have a 2000 EXP lead. But the Radiant side, they can choose to just kamikaze. If they get their axe, then it's game over for the Horsemen of Ruckus, because it's already so hard for them to push out. So even though they are winning these fights, or at least able to break even, the fact that they can't get some push going on their own makes it so damn hard. So it means that, especially with a Lycanthrope on the enemy team, he can just choose to kamikaze himself into your axe. If he's able to get Mega Creeps, you've lost the game, just because you can't hold off Mega Creeps and push at the same time, especially when the enemy team is up, unless if they feed themselves and then waste buyback and feed themselves again. Very unlikely for Horsemen of the Ruckus to recover from this poor start. The fact that the Lich and the Sandking were countered quite heartily. Sandking wasn't able to get a BKB up in time, so he died a lot in these early engagements. Puck completely countered Death Prophet, so Death Prophet wasn't able to get a lot of kills over on Muel, even though he did get a free kill in the middle lane in the early stages of the game, and was able to rotate to create space for his team. Pipe has been popped to make sure the creep wave can't be nuked down. Dazzle running balls deep, trying to scout out the Sandking, hit him so he can't get that blink initiation off. Throws a poison touch so Sandking can't use his epicenter. Fantastic plays coming in from Cheese Stands alone. That means that no epicenter comes out from Rafiki. That mitigates so much damage coming out from them. Melee racks over the bottom lane. This actually could be game for Horsemen of the Ruckus right now, as you've got 3 lanes of super creeps heading towards your way. Range racks could be taking a fall. Range grabs calls, so that's mega creeps over for the Radiant side. Even though they're throwing their lives away, Lycanthrope kamikaze himself to get that. While it's happening, Tier 4 might actually be taking a fall. Gats is going to run over to try to defend that, but the Horsemen of Ruckus, they gave it their best shot, but they can't hold against Mega Creeps. It's too difficult to win, especially when you're 3 racks behind, you don't have a single racks of your own, and tertiary towers are still up. The outer towers are up for 2 IP with top as well as bot. So that means the only lane you can push to try to get racks is mid, and even then the only way you could be able to win the game at that point is just to go for throne. But while that's happening, Mega Creeps will be able to push your throne down before you can push their throne down. So you're going to have to constantly have 1 or 2 heroes hang back to try to defend. Catapults, immediately switching target, going over on the throne. You see them actually going for a racks attempt right now. You've got the 50-second window. The Flash should be able to defend this. Well, that since they don't have UGTFO, he's trying to hold off the creep wave. He has to kill the catapults. The catapults doing a lot of damage to the Ancients. Dire Ancients been taking a lot of damage. Wolf buys back. Flash blinks and catches out King Killer. Frost Blast hits one and bounces. Gats really has been whiffing these Chain Frost. Hasn't been the best game for him. King Killer caught out of position, turned into a pig. It's a double edge to the face and stomped to the ground. Lycanthrope smacks him silly, cuts him open, then eats his entrails. Dire side fleeing for their life. One-man Dream Coil just on Sandking. Terminate with extreme prejudice. Egyptian slut no more. Rafiki fleeing for his life. Sentry Wall instantly drops. He should have run during the 1.5 second fade time. Sandking buys back. Has to in order to defend his racks. And in order to defend the Tier 4. Ancient's taking fire. King Killer's hanging around. He TP'd back to try to defend. Dumbledy is down. I don't think he has buyback. I don't see what the buy bought back already. And 2 IP grouping up for one last push. Double edge coming out from Flash just to wipe out the creep wave.
Double damage.
I guess he's been honoring the Blink name since he won the game in the end, even though he did have some pretty sloppy Blink hoof stomps. Nonetheless, Flash is having a ball of a time. He loves not playing carry. Just because I guess it's a lot more relaxing for him. You don't have to wait the entire team. Looks like they're just gonna weave themselves up, so all 5 of them are weaved up. They're just gonna kamikaze themselves to kill their racks. No fortification up, so they can just right click it down. You see, Lycanthrope is doing that. Epicenter goes on them, but he has BKB up, so Sandking actually died from the damage coming out from the last word, and Throne falls. 2 IP, able to make it a draw in the series up against Horsemen of the Ruckus. They fought long, they fought hard, but in the end, the fact that they were 1 racks down from the start, they took too long to get up enough farm over in the 2 snowball heroes. They weren't very good at playing from behind. Since the Death Prophet and the Slark and rely on you being able to stay ahead. And that looks like GG's being called, so 55 minutes in, very even game, 49 to 45, great plays coming up from both teams, and I think 2IP might actually have a shot at making it to the next stage now. I think it might be a tiebreaker fight between either them and Recursion or them and TYK, so that should be coming up fairly shortly, but in about an hour's time, Felfie and friends playing up against Horsemen of the Ruckus, so it'll be great to see how these 2 powerhouse teams go head-to-head against each other. That will be it for now, 49 signing out, I'll be seeing you at 9:30.